The Square Ball Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the show. Dan here with Michael and Moscow White. Two very good football shirts on display in this room, which we'll come to in just a minute or two. First, a quick heads up that the show is brought to you by Levi Solicitors, award-winning solicitors for their wills and probate.
Their conveyancing, their dispute resolution. I don't know if they've won an award for that, but they'd be good at it.
They should do, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Are they award winners in your eyes?
Yeah, undoubtedly so, yeah. Yeah, in my house, the best, for sure.
Yeah. Why is that?
Mainly because they sponsor the show, and you can get 10% off.
Yeah, I think they're outright professionalism, which is more than can be said for us. levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball for details and to get that 10% discount. Should we talk about these shirts then? Ours is on sale there, the one that you're wearing, Michael.
Yeah, you can buy this one. Sorry if you want the one Moscow's wearing instead. I don't think you can get them from us.
Not from us, no.
So,
from
Moscow.
friends.
Yes. So just for the purposes of the audio version, I'm going to quickly describe this, and I'd like you to tell us the story of that shirt. So it looks like the 1996-ish Asics green and blue shirt. There's a logo on it that vaguely resembles the Asics logo, but it's not. And there's a badge on it I don't recognise, and there's a sponsor on it I don't recognise. And I seem to recall you might have worn this once before. Did you?
I wore the home version. This is the away version of the We Got Up United VGP. Our Norwegian friends, We Go Up, which obviously Leeds United did not, but Lars Villar, the Norwegian musician, founded this football team. The sponsor's logo is Ons. I don't think you say it that way because it's Norwegian. They're a film company, but yes, it's a tribute to the 96 Asics kit, but just a nice shirt, as much as the home version that they did was also a tribute to that era, and they're well nice. So I just bought one because it's a nice top, which is a thing I would definitely encourage people to do if they also like what Michael's wearing. LarsVillar.no is the website if you want one of these, and
I say LarsVillar.yes.
Well, but then
but that's not the thing, is it?
It's NO spells Norway.
Yes,
and We Go Up is all about supporting drug reform in Norway. Better laws, which I think we all agree that that's necessary and long
particularly
overdue.
in Norway. I bloody hate their drug laws.
Well, yeah. So, Lars feels strongly enough about it to have founded an entire football team on the premise. So go buy one of them, particularly if you're in Norway, because the postage will be well cheap. It was actually pretty cheap getting to the UK as well. But while you're buying football shirts,
there you go. Nice.
Go and look at what Michael is wearing at thesquareball.net.
It's the fantasy Leeds-ish kit that never was, wasn't it? The Admiral sash, a design that never quite made it.
I'm doing it like I'm celebrating a goal. My arms out.
Like Jude Bellingham, aren't you, there, with your arms
Similar,
out?
yes.
Which segues us neatly, almost, into a bit of Euros chat. Also, we'll talk about Leeds as well. As we were sort of saying on the shows in the run-up to this, not a huge Leeds amount of stuff going on in the Euros, but there's been a little bit. Should we talk about Max Wöber first? And because that's the most recent thing. Before we do that, should we hear what Sam has to say about our Warrior?
Just sat watching the Austria-France game of the Euros. Noticed Max Wöber's playing. Oh, he's scored an own goal. Fuck off, you shit turncoat bastard.
So does that represent the majority of you?
He's our shit turncoat bastard now. Well, he might be if... where was he at? Don't stump up the money.
Mönchengladbach.
That was it. Yeah, they did want him apparently, didn't they? But
will they be glad to have him back?
Hey, munching at the bit to get him back or something?
That works.
They'll be really glad.
Yeah.
Oh, you already did that, didn't you?
I did that, yeah.
That's what he's doing.
You can do it again if you want. It's not like we
it's
constantly come up with new original jokes on here.
Yeah, it's not one of the occasions like when I haven't listened. I heard, took it in, and just didn't understand. They seem to like it. They won't let one night of own goals and did he put Griezmann into a advertising hoarding?
Oh,
Felt a bit rough.
I was busy decorating whilst this was on, so I just came kind of like sticking my head at the TV whenever something happened.
Yeah,
a euphemism.
Yes. But he was saying, wasn't he, in the run up to this, I'm not gonna have any phone calls from my agent about moves or whatever.
Correct.
During this year, I mean, paraphrasing, during this Euros tournament, I just want to concentrate on being away with Austria and see what happens. What do you think will happen as a result of that?
I mean, maybe he will become more affordable.
Yeah.
As a result of these performances.
I mean, much like the Scotland defence, he looked like a championship defender against France.
I mean, France are very good.
Are they?
Yeah, that's my controversial take.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
By them like winning stuff.
Yeah, they've got some very nice kits, haven't they? I know I'm just being facetious, but they've got some very nice kits. I do like the massive cock on. They see that was the one that they were wearing, wasn't it? The big golden cock.
You can laugh at the way he was being outpaced by Mbappe. But, he's being outpaced by Mbappe. Although, didn't Joe Rodon put in a stellar performance against PSG when he was on loan at... Wow. He was at Rouen as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he was at Nantes or Rouen.
I think Rasmus played well against Mbappe once as well.
Maybe he's rubbish then, but Wöber...
Junior Firpo once
Wöber's down to his level.
Pocketed him as well.
All right, Max has no excuse. I was going to say he's up against some very good players, but no, fair enough. And yeah, I don't know. The own goal is so graceless as well because it's right off the top of his head, and you don't want that because, as well with the Euros and in the era of high definition cameras and also with it being an Mbappe assist, it's going to be seen over and over again. And if it had been, a Lee Dixon style lob from 30 yards or something that you could really be proud of and that you'd like to see again, that's fine. But you don't want to see the ball going in like right off the crown of the top of your head.
Which bit of the head would you have said would be better?
If he'd done like a proper Lee Chapman style diving, glancing header in off the post. I mean, it was well placed, but that's the problem is that it came off the top of the bonce as if he was... I wonder if he's capable
like
of...
Sam Haman there.
I wonder if he'd be capable of tapping his head and rubbing his stomach at the same time. That might be beyond Max as well. I'd like to see. Maybe that can be the faxes that his agent is urgently trying to spool up off the floor is full of clubs going, if he can do that, we'll pay any price.
We were talking about our relationship to England in the run-up to this, and I was sort of saying I find it difficult to love England a lot of the time. And there was a perfect example of it in that 1-0 game against Serbia, which started so well and so promising and then just turned into that traditional sit-back England performance. And I realised at some point during the second half, I'd spent most of the second half just fiddling with my phone.
It did get really, really boring. If it started like a tournament game should start, where you're like, we're actually, even though we've been rubbish in the build-up, they were friendlies and they weren't trying and absolutely fine. I can understand that now because now the tournament's here, we're going to play well. And we're going to go at teams, which we did for like 20 minutes. And then Southgate's just so boring, isn't he?
Yeah.
I think I was on this several years ago, and then I think we did get to the final, so I had to kind of eat my words a little bit. But Christ, it's dull.
Yeah. It's not that exciting, is it? We're going to put together a team of I think, England Bastards. Is that how we're going to describe it on the member show this coming week?
Well,
yeah.
No, they're not necessarily bad people, just people maybe we personally dislike.
Right.
And, didn't enjoy seeing play for England.
So rooted entirely in pettiness.
Well,
which is what we do best, to be fair, as Leeds fans, isn't it?
In some cases, justifiable.
Yeah, so look out for that on the member show this week. You can subscribe at thesquareball.net for that. And the England game, do you still pass things through your Bielsa prism? Did you watch that and think, what would Marcelo do with this lot?
I think just any prism of those players, because they're all good.
So much attacking talent.
And it just was made really, really boring.
Was it boring or was it just Serbia were playing well and they had the ball so the wrong team was doing well? So you're like, bored now. My team aren't winning.
Yeah, maybe that was
If it was a Serbian, I'd probably thought it was a good game. And putting on because I don't really care about England winning, losing. Ask me that when we're in the final. I'm running around heading with my top off.
St. George's cross painted on your face.
Yeah, but...
flare in your arse.
But yeah, the second half, it was like an interesting game just in a different way because England were not playing very well and the other team were. And so it's like, are Serbia going to equalise? Will they win? So I didn't find it particularly boring. It was a bit of a shame that Bellingham, after his first half hour, didn't keep that up. Because that was great to watch.
It felt like the second half, we allowed them time to play all right, though, in a way that we shouldn't necessarily have done. And if we'd have been doing that against a good team, they'd have just probably scored 3 goals. Whereas Serbia would...
It was the sitting deeper and deeper thing, wasn't it, as well? Like, instead of trying to get on the front foot and win the game,
But, you know,
more.
we won.
Anyway,
so.
yeah. Great. I mean,
It
look,
was exciting when Harry Kane hit the bar. That was fun. A great save.
That was a very good save. That was
Yeah.
a very good save.
look
A good bit.
at what happened to bloody Belgium. That'll teach them to put mayonnaise on their fries, won't it?
Lukaku stole that goal as well, didn't he? Which was then offside. That's always nice when that happens.
Yeah.
Because it was probably going in anyway, was that header. And then he unnecessarily taps it in from offside.
Did you enjoy the handball? The controversial handball? The big VAR talking point of the week, month, year?
I didn't know there was the little snickometer thing.
That's quite exciting.
That was new to me, I have to say.
The snickometer is famous in cricket, isn't it? Because you can see whether the batsman has hit the ball and therefore snicked. Hence the word snickometer. But no, I didn't know that was a thing either. That's new, isn't it?
The automated offside's actually quite good, I have to say. It seems a great deal better than the version we needlessly had last year because this was offered, wasn't it?
Well, I went tragically. I went into.
I say we didn't have it in the Championship. We, the English.
We the Premier League leads. Yeah. But I started reading up on the actual difference between it, and like it's boring, but this semi-automated VAR uses so many more data points, like the cameras and the computers that are processing it sample like many orders of magnitude higher than the existing VAR we've got with the grainy lines and all that sort of stuff. So it's better all round, I think. Makes VAR more palatable. Because,
Still get rid of it.
Yeah.
To be clear.
But you don't mind, do you? Like, I suppose if you trust that the software and the machine works, then fine. It's the drawing the lines, I think, and taking 5 minutes over it that pisses everybody off more than anything.
Yes, it is mainly the time that's just very, very frustrating.
Yeah. Elsewhere, did you enjoy Rasmus's contribution to Denmark's game?
Didn't come on, no?
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Netherlands, I'm mentioning them just because I can then segue into Crysencio Summerville afterwards.
Okay. Did he play, did he?
No.
No. In the squad, is he?
No.
No.
Anyway,
Right.
so Crysencio Summerville looks like he's off. Have you seen the prices being bandied around? It's a lot of money, isn't it? I think I'd quite like us to sell him for a lot of money if we're going to sell him.
I have not seen the prices. What are the prices?
High.
Any examples?
Oh,
If they're being bandied around?
35, 40 million was floated, wasn't it? I mean,
Fine.
if it's that, fine.
I feel like no one's that bothered about him leaving, which I think is probably stupid because he scored loads of goals, got loads of assists. Was probably our best player last year.
And we'll probably get better.
But at the same time, I'm kind of like, it's fine. If he wants to go, let him go.
Not at the Euros.
True. And who is for Holland? Weghorst. He's there.
Yeah, exactly. So,
So he's worse than Weghorst.
Cody
Yes.
Gakpo as well.
Well, yeah, but we were so close to signing him. So
Yeah.
close.
But yeah, Brighton, potential destination. But I do hope we remind them of the conversations that we had around Ben White several years ago when we went up and they wouldn't sell him to us.
this is all just a Fabrizio Romano tweet, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but you know
do
that
wanna-
he's getting this from agents, isn't he? So
I was hoping that he would fade from the scene a little bit this summer. I suppose Euros is giving him some life, but because Mbappe just went, I'm going to Madrid, and like cut off any kind of speculating. In previous summers, I feel like there was the opportunity for Romano, and he has done it in previous summers. Like, what's his destination going to be? And he could have milked that for weeks. But instead, I do get a sense that some of the real top level players are kind of, I don't know if they're maybe specifically bored of that or if their agents are specifically bored of that. But I get just a little inkling that are a bit more just like, we're just going to tell you. So you don't have to listen to him. Or just I'm going to Madrid. It's fine.
Yeah.
And then, so I was hoping that maybe that would filter down and that Romano would end up being like, I mean, he did get involved at sometimes, like, Charlie Allen's going on loan to York with that kind of stuff. But then, so I do wonder when he's trotting out, because if he's not getting the top level stuff, he's like, somebody tell me, like, give me a club that Summerville might be going, Brighton, right, cool, right, and then I'll sort you out later with something else.
I think, it's just going to be thinner gruel if the top players are doing that, just speculating about who's going to be the next St Mirren manager and stuff, and people will be like, why Fabrizio? No, really, no one cares. Absolutely no one. But if he goes, I suppose Brighton would be a decent move for him. Not that I care.
yeah, and
Team up with Milner.
have you seen, by the way, their manager is younger than, is it something like 6 of their first team players? He's 31 years old, that new bloke who's gone in.
That won't work.
Terrifying, isn't it?
Too
He
young.
got St. Pauli up last year.
But
I
yeah,
know,
they have
he's sold out.
they've effectively put a boy in charge.
Well, good luck dealing with Crysencio Summerville when he says he wants to go back home for his birthday.
Yeah, they'll end up selling him for about 60 million in a couple of years, won't they, or something? But
I mean, one of the links, other than Brighton, was that Chelsea want him, in which case we probably should ask for like 60 or 70 because they might just pay it.
yeah, because they're insane, aren't they?
So buy him, Chelsea. Go on.
Well, the other strand of this is, one, we can get a bidding war going, and then there's this thing being tried out low because we've got the Red Bull investment. We can bide our time and get a
Stronger
a
hand.
high price. And I do wonder how many, because I mean that's all very well, but I think it's probably we do want to sell him.
I think we do as well. Yeah.
So if the Red Bull investment means we don't have to sell Crysencio Summerville, and then next season he's here in an absolute massive strop because he wanted to go to Chelsea and he doesn't score any goals, and then he ends up like he's cheaper than Brendan Aronson next summer, then it's maybe not such a great idea. So I would maybe save, and then you can't keep doing this if it's like, oh, well, the Red Bull investment means we don't have to sell Melier, and the Red Bull investment means we'd have to sell Gnonto, and the Red Bull investment means Archie Gray is the one. Save it for Archie Gray because we don't need to hear about every single player. Oh no, the Red Bull investment means
it's a dance, though, isn't it?
We can do it.
They're doing a dance.
Who are they dancing with?
With the transfer market and presumably what is turning into a bidding war. So they're like, what I think they're trying to convey is that we're in a position of strength, which is good if we are. I like that, and that we won't be held over a barrel, because you get the feeling that had Radrizzani still been in charge and we were here still, it would have been, yeah, we'll sell him for 20 million.
They could just tell them, like, I don't need to know about this. They could just tell Liverpool, it's like, yeah, we don't need to sell him for less than 40 million.
They probably are doing.
Well, then why am I hearing about it?
Because that's how football gossip works, isn't it? And media speculation.
Not bothered. No, I'm already bored of hearing about who Red Bull mean we don't have to sell. So if it gets down to like, the Red Bull interest means we can fend off bids for Joffy Gelhardt. Cool. I think bad luck for him.
Do you want to hear about my red hot Red Bull scoop?
Oh, did you know?
I saw your tweet. You tweeted it this morning, didn't you?
You don't tweet your scoops.
It's
you wasted it. You're only benefiting
Tell
Elon
Fabrizio.
Musk.
No, it's Tell Fabrizio.
It looked to be the sugar-free Red Bull that was being delivered to the East Stand.
Right.
I don't know what that means.
How much of it was there?
Are we going to start the Jack Clark rumours based on this?
It's hard to know because it was mid-unload. There was no one there with the truck. It was open. I could have swiped some, to be fair. I was half tempted.
Yeah.
Just like, just a few cans would be all right.
You could have gone in there, opened one of the shrink-wrapped cases and just walked off and had a can.
I'd say there were probably about 400 cans in the lorry still, but whether or not, there might have been 4,000 that had already gone in.
Keys in the ignition?
Didn't seem to be running, no. But there was excitingly a big old, I believe you call it a boom, a powered access thing, and they were cleaning all the shitty green mossy stuff off the supports of the East Stand, which is nice because I always think that looks scruffy. Yeah,
a good power wash is exciting. Any man over a particular age will testify. It's very exciting getting a power washer.
Imagine power washing.
Can you remember getting when you got your first power? Can you remember when you got yours?
I don't got one.
What?
My dad's got one, so I borrow it if I need it.
Yeah, of course.
If I need it. But power washing at height from a little basket where you're in a harness clipped on that must be quite good.
Must feel like Superman up there.
I might get in touch with them. You could offer to do it for free,
right?
Because I bet they've paid that guy, even though he's having the time of his bloody life up there.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think I've got a hose pipe long enough to reach the top of the East Stand, but I would do it. But
there are no players to take down this year.
No, because they're the blue banners with the peacock pattern. So leave them up for a bit.
They learned that lesson, didn't they?
Yeah.
And there's no Red Bull stuff up yet.
Yet.
There'll
be a big banner saying we didn't have to sell some of it.
Oh, hark at ye, cynicism man over there. The transfer window is open. We haven't signed anybody yet. However, we have seen managerial changes, and a hot TSB scoop is Robbie Savage is now the manager of Macclesfield. I believe. Have we got an exclusive chat with him here on the show?
No, yeah. No, he's not said anything yet.
Has he not?
No.
Oh.
He did say previous because he was sporting director and he's invested in the place. He wants to leave the club to his children. I think maybe his children's children.
Isn't one of his children's a footballer?
I mean,
plays for Man United.
It's a bit much giving him an entire football club. Most people are just happy with just a transfer. But let's see if I can find that quote in a hurry before it gets boring.
But he's got Emil Heskey in a position-specific role,
as
well, which you would assume is
uncle to Matteo Joseph, or is he a cousin? I can't remember. Is he uncle?
Cousin, I think.
Definitely a relation. Yeah,
A relation. That'll
Yes. Oh, so there's the quote. We've got the recording of Robbie saying it himself.
Thank you for getting that, Moscow.
Oh, I said, I want to leave this. Come, my kids and their kids. That's what he said.
There we go. That was good.
Yeah, so that's good. So he's
What
part
league are they in?
owner. Has he basically put himself in as boss, to all intents and purposes?
Well, reading the story, there was interest in him. He's taken over from Michael Clegg, who I have a feeling...
Definite former scummer.
Yeah, former Scum youth prospects. And I'm sure we, at one point on this podcast, maybe over a decade ago, we were discussing him in their youth team and how they needed more Cleggies.
yeah.
Cleggy in the youth team at Scum was like quite reassuring. But he was director of football. But yeah, they said that he's been offered a senior role elsewhere. Robbie subsequently agonised over this on numerous levels, as it would have meant relinquishing his role at Macclesfield FC and his shareholding. So he came to the board and said, "You're going to have to give me a pay rise or I'm fucking off to a better offer." Oh, no, that's not what it said. He didn't want to do that and the board didn't want him to do that. So they unanimously decided that that Robbie has basically forced us to let him be the man. Oh, no, it doesn't say that here. He has, he's been given the chance to prove himself here rather than taking one of the other opportunities that would have been lucrative. No, it doesn't say anything about that.
So they are in the Northern Premier League,
Yes.
by the looks of it, which is the same league that Marine are in. FC United of Manchester are in there. Bradford Park Avenue, which has been relegated down out of there. Whitby Town, Gainsborough Trinity, that sort of level. So, yeah, because it's the Phoenix club that came out of the ashes of Macclesfield Town, isn't it, this one?
Can't be a bad gig if you get to go and manage a few games in Whitby.
Yeah.
Imagine Robbie Savage.
Dressed as a goth?
Yeah, gothed up for the weekend. I think he'd enjoy that.
Steampunk Savage.
Yeah.
With his, still with Ugg boots on. With the little clock stuck to the side of it.
If it keeps him off our telly as a pundit,
Is
then
John
good.
Rooney one of the Rooney brothers? I'm just looking at their squad. They also have someone called Trey Pemberton, who I'm going to assume is John's lad as well.
It's a small world, the world of football. It's no wonder Fabrizio can get so much information. You just ask John Rooney what's going on. Say, oh, Robbie says this.
Yes, it is John Richard Rooney. Yeah, he plays for Macclesfield. Younger brother of former England forward Wayne Rooney.
Excellent stuff.
Touched on it before, but quick word for Scotland's 5-1 defeat to Germany. Obviously, feeling the pinch of not having Liam Cooper there, shoring things up at the back.
Was pleased to see Porteous get sent off because he annoyed me this season. So when he got sent off, I was like, yeah, good.
Got to be honest, didn't know who he played for until that happened.
Yeah, you remember him. You would remember him. I'm sure if you go back and listen to the Watford match ball, we were annoyed by him.
Is he a GCB?
A what?
A GCB, Grizzled Championship Bastard?
Oh, yes, very much so.
Yeah.
And he used to do this all the time in Scotland as well, apparently. He was known for his big two-footed lunges.
Oh, thank God. I wonder where that was going.
In red cards.
It was a quality red card.
It was.
It really went. That's trying to set the tone for the tournament. Nobody's quite taken up the challenge yet. Maybe set the bar too high.
I was really shocked that there seemed to be a number of people disagreeing with it. It's like, well, could very, very easily have snapped his leg then.
At first pass, although I thought that's not a red card, that's a yellow. But then I watched it a couple of times. I was like, oh no, that's a red card. It was off the ground.
He's fully horizontal, going through a man's mid leg.
I think he gets a yellow for each foot.
I think that is exactly how it works, isn't it?
But it does mean though, it does push Coops. I know they didn't bring Coops on in that reshuffle, but it pushes him nearer the starting 11 because he's got a 2-match ban, which is all Scotland have got in this competition. Yeah. So
yeah, I think they were already that penalty put them 3-0 down. So you're not bringing Coops isn't going to save the day from there. So you keep him fresh for the forthcoming challenges. And teams only have to finish third, don't they?
Well, a load of them do.
Right.
There's something like
there are 6 groups and 4 will make it through. Is that right?
Yeah.
Like that.
And goal difference is a factor, isn't it? So if they can make up the, can they beat Switzerland 5-1? Just cancel it all out.
No.
4-0. That'd do.
I don't think they're going to score.
Not at all.
Probably not. I mean, they didn't come close to scoring in this one until they did.
Is Rudiger's their top scorer?
Is Rudiger available if Germany decide they can do all right without him? You have him. It's fine.
The XG of 0.01 was quite remarkable from this game, and that was the header that went on to Rudiger was the 0.01. So that was a little bit of a chance. But I was pleased to see Rudiger having a vaguely miserable day as well, because he's someone else I hate.
Yes, because he was a bit of a bastard with that penalty, wasn't it? At
He
Stamford
dived,
Bridge.
yeah.
He dived, yeah, fair enough. Again, it's like we hold
No.
grudges as a fan base, is it at all? Second round of fixtures is on the way, then match day 2, so there's a couple of games, Turkey, Georgia and Portugal against the Czech Republic. So chance to hate on Ronaldo as well, excuse me, at the time of recording. That's tonight, is it?
It is, yeah. And him and Pepe both still in the squad despite being 50 or something. Just really weird how that just never changes. I feel like there's not been a tournament in my life they haven't played in somehow.
Who does Pepe play for now?
Oh,
Is
he was
Sounds French, does Pepe Le Pew?
he was still in the. I'm sure he was still in the Champions League this year.
No.
I'm sure he's he's ridiculous. He's older than me, and he's there just still plugging away. I do know this.
Born 1983, it says here on Wikipedia.
He's at Porto. That's where he is.
He is. He's 41 years old. Sweet baby Jesus.
Ramos is off to MLS, isn't he?
Is that right?
I believe. Well, he's leaving Victor Orta's Sevilla. I think it's mooted that could be his next move, which will be, Has Pepe played in MLS? Because he would cause some trouble. He still probably could. Maybe he's saving that until he's like his late 40s. They can move over there and they can maybe come up against Brendan Aronson once he's moved back. That would be interesting stuff. But yeah, I don't know if I suppose maybe it can calm people down.
I did see shirtless
lifestyle.
footage of Brendan Aronson this week, by the way.
Ripped.
From following his girlfriend on Instagram, I get to see little glimpses of Brendan. He was on a boat, and I know he was bragging about his 6 pounds he put on. I mean, he's in good shape. I wouldn't mind being in the same shape as him.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say he looks big. So
It's relative, isn't it?
I guess. But and also it may have been a small boat that made him look bigger.
It's a little tiny.
Just so he looks more muscly.
It was a pedalo.
But yeah, he's obviously pre-Copa America, I guess, now, isn't he? 'Cause he's just about to go.
Does that start on the 21st? Is it this coming weekendish?
It starts this weekend, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know who they're kicking off against, but they've got Bielsa's Uruguay in their future, and also Thomas Christensen's Panama. So it's a little bit weird now because it was quite simple before that, just don't care about the USA. Nobody's really involved that's anything to do with us. But now Brendan's there. So it was easy. I love Bielsa and I love Thomas Christensen, so I'd like their teams to succeed in that group. And if that means walloping the USMNT, fine. Now Brendan Aronson is kind of our responsibility again. It's be like, oh, well, just don't upset him and don't hurt him because he's on our payroll. So yeah, it's back to that kind of, well, if football's the winner. But I would enjoy a Thomas Christensen Panama win over the USA I'd like to see Thomas happy. Thomas would celebrate way more than anybody else. The guy celebrates waking up every morning and having a beautiful Scottish fold cat. So the idea of leading Panama to a victory at Copa America over the hosts and one of the biggest teams would be a great thing. And also I know that Thomas Christensen would be very gracious towards Brendan Aronson. He would go and say, oh, listen, you can turn this round. I heard what your grandfather said to you. You can go back to Leeds.
I heard about this fictional conversation.
You can listen. I'll put you in touch with Samu Sahis, and he can tell you how to win the Leeds fans over, and everything will be great. And if ever you want to talk to J. Roy Grott, I've still got his number. Get you some advice.
Anything in particular jump out to you from the match day 2 fixtures? Denmark, England on Thursday afternoon. Netherlands, France. That should be interesting, shouldn't it? That's for Friday evening.
Spain, Italy's got a real classic feel to it as well. I feel like that's what it should be.
That's a really difficult group, isn't it, with Croatia in it?
Yeah, Turkey, Georgia has all the makings of the worst game of the tournament, I would say.
But it might have been a classic because there's no expectation on it.
We'll watch it, of course.
Yeah. That's been one of the glorious things is that it has just been wall-to-wall football. Like today, because the first game was on Friday, this is where you lose the extra game, don't you? So there's only 2 today, and I was kind of like, I'm slightly put out by the fact that I can't sit there watching wall-to-wall football. And when the Copa America starts, you can, in theory, I think, do 4 in a day or more, which would be fun. Just give up all. I mean, you'll need that Red Bull. Get back around there. Keep yourself awake.
No, I think it's always Germany look decent as well. I think I feel like a strong Euros needs Germany to actually be good. I know they haven't been for a while because they've had to have Robin Koch in the squad, which is just they're terrible. But yeah, I feel like Germany, England in a final would be the way.
Germany have certainly led the way in what I've seen in terms of smacking the ball into the net really hard. All those goals against Scotland were like, just whack it in, really, just blast the keeper's head off, don't matter.
That Romania opener was very good for that yesterday as well.
I didn't see that. What happened?
Just fell to an edge of the box and he just twatted it.
Proper kick
right into the top corner.
Yeah.
Keeper nowhere near it. He just went, oof.
Did the Romanians have the blonde haircuts? I saw some tweets to that effect.
Yeah, it was a mixture of colours.
I didn't watch that game.
Yeah, there seemed to be plenty of dye about, which again is the way it should be in the Euros.
Yeah, like mad haircuts and that makes me think of our Champions League. Was it the semi-final when all our players shaved their heads?
Apart from the ones involved in court cases.
Yes.
You were advised not to.
Or getting married.
So it was kind of, there was maybe a point at which maybe none of us maybe just won't do this.
We'll all do this except.
Why don't we always get nice haircuts? Nice sensible ones.
We'll go out there looking our best.
They're really smart.
Because ultimately it didn't really work.
No. That's the big thing, isn't it? Well, enjoy the rest of the Euros and the start of Copa America and stuff. We'll be back later in the week. And
that makes it sound like we're not going to do another one of these before the end of the Euros.
See you in August.
enjoy the rest of the Euros this week is what I actually meant. And we'll be back in a couple of days to pick up on this conversation and see how it all went. And we'll speak to you then. See you in a bit.
The Square Ball Podcast.